What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about some Bethesda news. Bethesda kind of pulling out of a virtual E3, but really talk about what this means for the gaming industry and why I'm a little worried about what it could mean for other developers. Now, we've talked a little bit about this kind of like topic before. This could be the very first time some of you guys have ever seen the channel. So for those guys, welcome. I will try and kind of recap my general thoughts on what I'm expecting this May, June period, and again, why I feel like this is kind of a negative sign. So we're going to go into all of that. Really, let's first read the tweet from Pete Hines. This is Bethesda's Senior Vice President of Global Marketing and Communications. Given the many challenges we're facing due to I don't want to even say any of those words, we will not host a digital showcase in June. We have lots of exciting things to share about our games and look forward to telling you more in the coming months. Okay, so that's what he said. So they're not doing an online show. So let's go over really quickly, again, for those that maybe this is their first time watching any of our videos, let's go over what I believe we're going to see. So E3 is that time that, lots of publishers come together at E3, and not even just at E3. Sony, Nintendo, and Nintendo's done it for a long time, pulled out. They do their own thing, right? Sony kind of does, but not really. They kind of wait a couple weeks before, a couple weeks after to announce stuff. But it's where you get a whole bunch of announcements, okay? With E3 canceled, my personal prediction for a while, for around a month now, ever since E3 was canceled, is that I think what would be a good idea and what my prediction would be is that really as many publishers as they want should have online conferences, right, or conventions, whatever you want to call it, stage shows, whatever. I think that would be a really great time. Now, should they all do it in a 3-day span like what's normally done at E3? Absolutely not. I think that's a really stupid idea. I've always thought that's a stupid idea. This, honestly, yes, does it suck? I spoiled it for you guys. Does it suck E3 is canceled? Yes, it obviously sucks. But what it really opens it up to is now you're not constrained in such a small period of time where you have one conference after the other and you forget what was announced at one conference versus another, and you forget one conference happened at all, and you have publishers that really probably shouldn't be up there talking for an hour when they only have 10 minutes of info. Bethesda. But see, what's worrying about Bethesda is exactly that. The fact that it seems like, and I've always said this, I don't know if this has ever been confirmed anywhere, my personal belief is Bethesda signed a contract to go to E3 a long time ago. I believe when they first started doing it, maybe in 2014, 2015, whenever they announced Fallout 4, that year when they announced it, I feel like that was their first E3. I feel like they signed a very long contract that said they would continue doing E3s, and what became quickly clear is Bethesda doesn't have enough content in any given year to support an E3 show. They don't have enough to talk about up there for an hour and a half. So what do they have to do? They have to pad it with just the dumbest things in the world, and then announce maybe 5 to 10 minutes of good stuff. Now, while that was annoying, what I found good about this situation is, well, they don't have to do that. Bethesda, Square Enix, let's just throw out some random ones. Square Enix, Warner Bros. Warner Bros. Is the big one that I've been saying for a while, needs to do an online thing. They were originally going to go to E3. Now, obviously, they can't, so they should do an online thing. But honestly, anybody, Microsoft, Sony, Activision, Nintendo, keep throwing out publishers, and you're going to nail, I think, any of them. Any of them should do an online thing. It would be fun. End of May. Again, you don't have to do it in a 3-day span of June. Work it out with each other and do, okay, well, one day one company goes, the next day another company goes. You could have 10 days of just every single company doing an online presentation. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be different? Wouldn't that be something that kind of unites the gaming world? Now, I know Jeff Keighley is kind of working on his own E3. Fine. I respect Jeff Keighley. I understand he's only trying to do the best he can do, and he believes in the game industry, and I think he's a really good thing for the gaming industry in general. But I really don't think you're going to get what I'm talking about with what he's doing either. You're going to get an hour-long show with these publishers going in. Again, it kind of gets too tangled. It kind of gets too messy. It'll be okay. It'll be a suitable replacement, but it's not going to be amazing like I think we deserve and we should have if everybody kind of just takes their own turn. Now, why is this worrying? Well, Bethesda was a classic example, in my opinion, of somebody who didn't need E3 ever. They never needed E3. What they could have done this year's E3 is had their own online show. And you know what? They get to pick how long they want to do it. You're not constrained. I guarantee you at E3 they tell you have to be on the stage. It has to be so long of a show. Now you probably have a range you can go. Some studios or some publishers go a little bit longer than others, but I guarantee you have to be. You can't be on there for 10 minutes, right? You have to be on there longer than that. But for Bethesda, they really only have 10 minutes of info in any given year, right? So having an online show, they can show whatever they want. Don't pad it, because you don't need to pad it. Show 10, 15 minutes of stuff, kind of like a State of Play, a Nintendo Direct, all that kind of stuff. Do it. What's stopping you from doing it? I think that would be an amazing thing. Well, they're not doing it. That is worrying. That's honestly worrying, because I don't want other publishers to follow suit. What if Warner Bros. Kind of comes out and says, yeah, we were going to go to E3. Like, that was confirmed. Maybe they don't even talk about the games that were going to be there. We were going to go to E3, but because of what's happened. And by the way, I'm not blaming anybody. I mean, he did kind of use the excuse that because of all the uncertainty and all, like, the things going on, so maybe they wanted to do it, but they're like, well, we would have to get everybody together. We have to, like, make basically a presentation that we'd have to, like, put on. And if we're allowed to go back to our offices, like, May 1st, well, that's probably not enough time. We'd have to start now, and we don't have enough time. We can't do it right now. So stuff like that. So I'm not saying like, oh, I'm really disappointed in Bethesda. It's more like I'm disappointed that this stuff continues to happen and these things can't come out. These things can't actually happen the way I would have liked it to. And again, it's not necessarily me being greedy or me demanding it. I just think it was a cool idea that honestly was very plausible. Like, it very well could have happened. I understand it. I understand that because of all the stuff that's happening, it does make sense. But that's the worrying thing. So what if this thing continues, goes all the way through April, and then all of a sudden you have these other companies, EA, Ubisoft, even the big ones maybe, even like Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft say, because Microsoft confirmed they were doing something. They're going to do an online expo. That's what Microsoft said the day E3 was canceled. But what if they come out late April and say, due to, this stuff, we can't do it anymore. Maybe we can do separate announcements at separate times, but we can't do what we were planning on doing. That sucks, because I think even Microsoft's would be really, really cool. You have an hour-long show, maybe a little bit less, because again, no padding. Don't pad it. If it's an online show, you don't pad online shows, okay? You show us what you want to show us. You cram it full of whatever. It can be 10 minutes long. It can be half an hour long. It can be 45 minutes long, however long, but it needs to show, just consistently, like bam, bam. Remember that Sony E3 like 2-3 years ago where it was literally just game after game, and it literally didn't stop? Do that, but do it online. That's all I really don't see, again, why that's such a hard thing for people to do. Again, in the situation we're in right now, due to what's going on around the world, I get it. I think it's something that could have definitely happened, though, and I feel like, I don't know why you maybe wouldn't necessarily be able to put it together with everybody working remotely. I understand it would be a lot harder to do that, but I don't think it would be impossible to make this thing, basically, again, come to fruition. Again, it sucks. This Bethesda thing isn't real. Like, I saw it in, like, when I wake up and I check the news every day for, like, gaming and movies. I saw this, and it disappointed me. Like, I was a little upset about it, and I kind of, like, kept scrolling, and then I thought about it later, and I was like, you know what? No, this is a signal for basically worse things in the future. Maybe the story on its own, Bethesda not going or not having their own online show, maybe that isn't the biggest thing in the world. Like, what are they even going to show anyway? I'm sure they would have shown a couple cool things. I don't doubt that they have cool things to talk about, but it really is more of an indicator of, like, all right, is it really only a matter of time now before we get somebody else? And again, right now, Bethesda was still one of those studios or publishers that was going to go to E3. So maybe we first hear them first, and maybe we never even hear about these other publishers that I'm talking about. I think, again, Square Enix, that would be a really cool thing. Why can't Square Enix put together a thing? They have so many titles across a lot of different brands. Why can't they do an online thing? Again, Warner Bros., I've been saying it for a while. Why can't they do one? They were actually going to do one. Now we'll see what ends up happening, right? So it is a little bit worrying. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I actually am a little bit worried about the future of what could happen over the next couple months. Again, it's not like Bethesda won't show anything. They did say they'll just kind of show things over the next little while. Again, it'll be more spaced out. It would not be in like a presentation. You could say, well, that's fine just on its own. If they end up doing it, then yeah, I guess if you want to do one thing a month or one thing a week, or just really whenever a development team is ready, they do it, which is pretty much what, for the most part, the gaming industry does. If a development team is ready to talk about something, they do it, right? Or even like maybe Take-Two, right, with a possible new GTA, with a possible new Bully, with a BioShock being worked on but not ready to be shown, with Mafia 4, all these different things. I mean, there are plenty of publishers that could take advantage of a really cool like online system. Again, though, we'll have to see what happens over the next couple months. This Bethesda thing is not a very good first indicator as to what could happen. It's probably actually worst case scenario for all of these companies. So guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Are you disappointed that we won't see anything from Bethesda this upcoming June? But again, more to what I'm saying in this video, do you guys see what I'm talking about? Do you think that this could be a worrying sign for other publishers? Would you still like to see other publishers do an online presentation? Let me know. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit that bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And thank you, as always, for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope to see you all on the next video.